Hello, everybody, and welcome inside the Chrysler Center on the campus of the University of Michigan as the Wolverines get ready to kick off their home schedule in 2024 against the Stanford Cardinal. I'm Ashley Bueller, alongside my partner Brittany, and it's going to be an exciting matchup here between these two teams tonight. Brittany, what can we expect?
Yeah, the Wolverines are going to be looking for a bit of redemption after a disappointing start to the season last weekend in Vegas. They had some new faces in the lineups and a lot of first meet jitters that head coach Bev Plotke said. She felt like it was a little bit uncharacteristic, and she told us that she hopes to see more confidence from this team moving forward. She wants them to compete with the confidence of a team that knows that they're good, because they have the talent on their team, despite not necessarily having the most competitive experience in some of their lineup spots. So the goal for Michigan today is simply to be better than they were last week. She wants them to go big, compete aggressively, even if that means we see some mistakes. But I know this team is hungry and very much looking forward to the opportunity to redeem themselves here today.
And for Stanford, this is not only the first meet of their 2024 season, but it's their last season opener in the Pac-12 as the school gears up to make that switch to the ACC conference next season. It's going to be a bittersweet season for them, and it all starts here tonight.
Yeah, when we spoke to head coach Tabitha Yim, she said this season is really just going to be a celebration. She wants her team to enjoy every moment and give it all they've got in their final season in the Pac-12. This is a team that I feel like is just going to get better and better as the season goes on, and I think really they have the potential to do big things in the postseason. They're not going to be at 100% health-wise at this meet, but it's the first meet of the season, and they want to ensure that they're pacing their athletes correctly so that way they can be at full force come postseason. That's what's the most important. So we're going to see lots of new faces today, and it's going to be a really exciting night.
Some key athletes to look for, I would say, for both of these teams has got to be the fifth years. Chloe Widner for Stanford and Sierra Brooks and Gabby Wilson for Michigan. Obviously great on the competition floor, but also great leaders off the floor as well and bring so much to their teams.
Yeah, Chloe was an All-American on balance beam last season, as well as an individual qualifier to the NCAA championships as an all-arounder. And Stanford is really happy to have her back, not only because of her gymnastics, but also what she brings to the team in general, her personality. And, coming back for a fifth year was not something that I think she initially planned on. It wasn't something that they even discussed until later in the season last year. And it was this team. It was the potential that she felt like this team had. She wanted to be a part of it and, continue to help them reach their goals. So I think that it's huge for them to have her back.
And, of course, Sierra Brooks, 2023 AAI award winner, two-time Big Ten Gymnast of the Year. Gabby Wilson, Big Ten vault champion, floor champion as well. I mean, so many accolades between these two.
And they're both captains as well.
Yes.
So a lot of leadership in the gym, also outside of the gym as well. And I think on the gymnastics floor, obviously, they have huge scoring potential, big skills. The team can really count on them to bring in those big scores. But like I said, I think they're really respected in the gym, but also out of the gym as well, and bring a lot of leadership and experience to this team.
We'll go ahead and give you the lineups for rotation one. Michigan will be starting on vault. Up first will be Ava Jordan. This will be her debut. Raina Cagino will be up second. Jenna Mulligan third, followed by Naomi Morrison, Gabby Wilson, and Sierra Brooks. And then for Stanford, starting on the uneven bars, up first will be Claire Dean, Ava Sorrentu, Brenna Nault, Ira Alexeva, and then capping it off in the anchor position will be Chloe Widner.
It's something to look for here for Stanford on bars, and I believe on vault as well. They're only putting 5 athletes up, which means that they are going to be in a pressure situation right from the start. It's 5 up, 5 count for them, so that's definitely something you're going to want to watch for.
All right, so we're going to get started with Ava Jordan over on vault. Like we mentioned, this is her very first time competing in a lineup for Michigan. Yurchenko full and really nicely done.
Yeah, good body position in the air. Not too much distance. I think that's something that she's going to want to work on, is getting the height, but also the distance from the table. That's equally as important. But
that
in
landing.
terms of the execution and the landing, I mean, it doesn't get better than that, honestly.
Okay, so moving over to bars, we've got Claire Dean in the leadoff spot. There's a Ray for her single bar release. Little bit close on that, I would say. You saw the bent arms when she caught, but beautiful pec salto down to the low bar.
Just a little bit shy on that handstand. The judges will probably take about a 10th for that. Right into the double back dismount, double front. I mean,
just a tad short on that as well, so the judges are going to take probably a 10th and a half for that landing. And again, like you mentioned, 5 up, 5 count, so.
But she hit. I mean,
Yes.
that's the most important thing. And that's exactly what you want your leadoff athlete to do. Score is in for Ava Jordan. It's a 9.85.
Not too bad for your first vault ever in your career.
And something they can certainly build off of, because the rest of Michigan's lineup is going to have Yurchenko 1.5 vaults that start out of a 10.
Now, Raina, she's stuck this vault in the warm-up. Let's see if she can get it here. Yurchenko 1.5. Oh, so close. That foot moved just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I saw probably a 10th there in deductions on the landing, because she moved her 1 foot forward, and I think I saw another little step there, but that was really, really cleanly executed.
We'll have to see what the judges do with that
And what
one.
I liked about it is there's this new rule where you have to, when you have your arms over your head and you're in that finished position, hold that for 1 second, and I like that she returned to that position and made sure that she held it. Otherwise, that would have been an additional deduction.
We are waiting on the score for Claire Dean in the leadoff spot.
It's the first meet of the season for Stanford, but for some of these judges, it's also their first meet of the season. So
absolutely,
they are also kind of getting into the swing of things, and there's some new changes to the code and different things that they're looking for in routines. So we might see some delays like this, especially earlier in the season.
We can tell you the score for Raina Gugino just came in, 9.875.
And that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see the athletes slowly building on those scores.
So Michigan off to a pretty good start. Ava Sorrentu is going to be up next on bars for Stanford. And this is actually going to be her first time ever in the lineup for Stanford.
And she was somebody in the warm-ups I was very impressed with.
Yeah. I'm sure she's probably feeling a little bit of nerves right now, especially with this weight from the judges.
Yeah, being iced out by the judges does not help.
Okay, so we have a 9-7 in for Claire Dean, and that brings up Ava.
A little arch in the back there on that first handstand. Oh,
she mistimed that just a little bit.
Yep, came in close. But she stayed on the bar, which is impressive. She's keeping things moving here.
That's one of the things that's so important about uneven bars is maintaining that rhythm. And sometimes when you have a rhythm break like that, it can be hard to keep going, but she did a really good job.
That dismount was beautiful. Legs perfectly glued together. Loved the body position on that. And of course, start landing. I mean, that's exactly what the judges are looking for. So
that's going to be a routine that, is going to get better and better as the season progresses. All right, so now we got Jenna Mulligan.
And this is a new vault for her this season. She previously would do a Yurchenko full in the lineups. Now she's doing that Yurchenko 1.5.
Nicely done. About a 10th step forward there on the landing, but what a boost for Michigan to have her in the lineup now doing the Yurchenko 1.5. It's a 10-0 start value, and they lost some last year, so it was important for her to step up, and she's doing great.
And it's much improved. I mean, that's a vault that Jenna in her level 10 career did. And I think she would tell you it wasn't the cleanest vault. She had a lot of form deductions in it, and honestly, when I saw that vault for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness. She's worked really, really hard, and I think we're seeing that so far.
Yeah, once she gets that landing down, it's going to be a huge score.
And it looks like we have another little delay over here on bars. The score is in for Jenna Mulligan on vault, a 9.85.
Those vault judges are going quick.
And for Jenna, I should point this out, that's actually a career high for her. Previously, her career high was a 9.825, so Ava Sorrentu, her score is in with a 9.325. So unfortunately, Stanford's not going to be able to drop that score, like we mentioned, with 5 up, 5 count. So it's really important that the back half of this lineup really comes through with some big scores. And I think they're capable of it.
Absolutely. Starting here with Brenna Nault, she's absolutely beautiful gymnast. You see she's got nice toe point, really good form, legs glued together there on those transitions.
That's beautiful. Yeah, this is textbook bar work, I would say. She has a nice routine going here. Oh, maybe I jinxed her.
Yeah, spoke a little bit too soon. Yeah, just a little bit off on that full pirouette, and unfortunately, not going to be the rotation that Stanford is looking for.
Yeah, because that fall is 5/10 alone on top of whatever other deductions the judges find. She's going to take a moment here to chalk up, take a deep breath, settle in.
And of course, you know, it is the first meet of the season, so I don't think anyone would expect Stanford to be perfect at this point. And this is good experience for later in the season to learn how to, you know, get back up and finish your routine strong after you've had a mistake.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Honestly, like, mistakes are going to happen, especially at this point in the season. The more important thing is how you bounce back from it. She's over again on that handstand, another fall. But I got to say, this is honestly, I think the approach that Stanford wanted coming into this meet was they were going to be aggressive. That's something that when we talked to head coach Tab at the end, she told us, like, last season they waited a little bit too late into the season to be aggressive, to go for those handstands, to go for the bigger vaults,
to go for the newer skills.
Yeah, and so they wanted to be aggressive in this meet. And honestly, these mistakes that we're seeing, I believe it's a result of being aggressive. You know, she's casting over on handstands. That means she's really going for that position. So the crowd is
giving her a little boost here.
Yep.
Cheering her along.
Willing her through this routine. Let's see if she can finish it out strong with a nice stuck dismount.
Toe hand to toe full, and she's off again on it. We'll see if she...
And those full pirouettes, man, they can be tricky.
I'm curious if she's going to go for it again. It looks like she is going to go for it again. This is gutsy. You know, this is not an easy situation to be in, to continuously be making a mistake, and, you know, it's your first competition of the season. And
well, and it's got to be tiring too, right?
Yeah.
Like, to continuously have to get up there.
She's just going to go for a double tuck. And she's gassed after that, understandably so. Like you said, doing that skill so many times.
You're supposed to do it, you know, just once, ideally. But that's all right.
Room for improvement.
Yep, it's the baseline, and she'll be better next week when she goes out there.
Okay, so up next for Michigan on vault, it's going to be Naomi Morrison. Has a career high of 9.975 on this event.
And she's usually pretty good about finding that landing. Small hop there.
Pretty big hop, and then a little hop after. Yeah, so gonna get a couple tenths there on that landing, but
in terms of height and distance, I mean,
explosive.
I'll get another look here.
Yeah, a little bit bent arms coming into the table. And then you saw right there that larger hop, and then
there was a tiny
hop.
one. I think it cut off before we got to see it on the replay, but yeah, I would say for sure a 10th hop, and then probably another half 10th on top of that.
Oh, and there's a new rule this year. Judges can now take, for a medium-sized step or hop, they can take a 10th and a half, so they might even take that for that first hop, and then an additional half 10th for the second. We'll have to see. And I imagine that we're going to have a little bit of a hold here for the score for Brennan Alt.
We do have the score in for Naomi Morrison, however, a 9.875. So
Michigan looking much better, much more confident. Its score is definitely trending a little bit higher than they were last weekend in Vegas, which is something that I'm sure they're thrilled about. Okay, so it's a 7.4 for Brennan Alt, and that brings up Ira Alexeva, who is beautiful on this event, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy this routine.
Absolutely beautiful there. Love her toe point. She has a beautiful extension.
But you'll see she was short on that handstand there, so that's going to be at least a 10th deduction there. That one is much better. I want to finish it right on top of the bar. Double layout.
Oh, goodness. That was beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful in the air, just that small step back on that landing. But a good way to pick up the momentum again after the routine before her. All right, up next on vault, we have Gabby Wilson. The last two vaulters here for Michigan have career highs of 10, so they can go big.
and
Really
that
nice.
was great.
Yeah,
The
perfect
tiniest
form
bit of
in the
movement.
air. Just that little hop, but that's going to be a huge score for Michigan. Take another look at that.
You see her legs are glued together.
Yeah, nice block. Resulted in good height, good vault. I would imagine with the way the scores have been so far, that's got to go at least 9-9.
Yes.
No doubt. Score is in for Ira Alexeva. It's a 9.825. And they're going to wrap it up with Chloe Widner.
Beautiful first handstand there. Nice Tkachev. Lots of height on that.
Great handstand position on that build handstand. That's an area that a lot of gymnasts often fall just a little bit short. But I was impressed with her, watching her in the warm-up, the way she was being aggressive and going for those handstands.
That was an amazing routine.
Yeah, just a tiny scoop back on the dismount, but overall, great form. Just little tiny deduction. That's going to be a really big score for Stanford. So the score is in for Gabby Wilson. It was, in fact, a 9-9, and that brings up Sierra Brooks to finish out the rotation for Michigan. Another Yurchenko, 1.5, and so close to a stuck landing. She does take a tiny little hop.
But again, you saw her pause there for a moment. She's making sure the judges see that she held it for 1 full second.
Right, no additional deductions, just that one little hop there to check out the form, the height, the distance, and then just tiny little hop right there. But
that is one of the best vaults you'll see in the NCAA.
And when she sticks it, it's, capable of going 10.
Okay, so I believe we'll have maybe an exhibition on vault. And a 9.975 for Sierra Brooks. That's a huge score, obviously. I gotta say, with the little hop,
Not entirely sure.
I'm a little surprised, but that was still a really great vault. So one judge thought it was perfect.
All right, so that is going to be the end of the first rotation. Michigan has a 49.475 on vault, and Stanford at a 46.125 on the uneven bars. So we're going to go to break, and we'll come back. The teams are going to flop. Michigan's going to bars, and Stanford is going to the vault. This meet is being produced by students at the University of Michigan as part of the Big Ten Network Student U program. An on-campus experience that is unique to the Big Ten, Student U is part of an educational mission to teach the next generation of sports production professionals. You'll see some of our team here waving hello to the camera. For more information, visit bigtennetwork.com/studentu.
We're going to get a look here at some replays of Michigan on vault. This rotation was really good. They got a 49.475. I really liked what I saw here. A lot of really dynamic vaults.
Capped off with that 9.975 vault from Sierra Brooks. Not too shabby.
They said that they wanted to be better than they were last week, and I think so far they're looking pretty good. I mean, granted, they still have 3 more events to go, so.
But they're moving in the right direction. That vault rotation is more on par with what you typically see with the University of Michigan. They've always been known as a phenomenal vault team, and
they have some more big vaults in the works as well.
And I'm super excited about Ava Jordan, seeing her as a freshman in the leadoff spot. I mean, what a way to start your career as a Michigan gymnast. And Bev Plocky said that she's a vaulter of the future. She's training at Yurchenko 1.5.
And it's very clean.
Yeah, something that I think is absolutely going to be in Michigan's lineup in the future. So keep your eye on that, but definitely a great way to start the competition. And Stanford, of course, not really the rotation they were looking for, but the back half really came through with the 9.825 from Alexeva and 9.875 from Widener. Yep, excellent work. We just got a few moments here before we begin the second rotation. Michigan is going to be on the uneven bars. Up first will be Naomi Morrison. followed by JC Bohr, then Gabby Wilson, Halen Zabrowski, then Carly Bauman, and then Sierra Brooks is going to finish off the rotation. And then Stanford is going to be starting on the vault. We will have Claire Dean getting things started off.
You'll notice that she's the leadoff on every event. She's really comfortable in that position, and she's doing your Yurchenko full here. A hot back, but great start.
And you could really see that pause. We mentioned it already, that new rule change. Holding the landing position for a second, and then she throws her head back, and that was something that we actually talked to Coach Tabitha Yim about.
They have a funny little saying. It's red trees stand tall. That's what they tell themselves to
slow themselves down.
Yeah, make sure that they're actually taking that second. All
right, so we got Naomi Morrison up first on bars for Michigan. Really nice Ginger. Always love how she keeps her legs pasted together on that. Not all athletes do that, but Naomi does it so well.
It's a little bit crooked on that failed handstand there. I think maybe a little bit shy on that handstand as well. And a step back. Next up on vault, we have Amanda Zhang.
She's following the 9.725 from Claire Dean in the leadoff spot. So a good start. Looking to build on that. Now you'll notice the Yurchenko fulls here at the beginning of the lineup. That's something that's probably going to change as the season goes on. They have a lot more 10-0 start value potential that they're not doing quite yet. They have some freshmen who aren't competing here. Kind of just like easing into the season, not really wanting to push it when it's not necessary.
Yeah, well, and also we should mention Anna Roberts. She's typically a star for Stanford, one of their all-arounders. She is actually out with an injury right now, but they're hoping to have her back by mid-season. So,
yeah, they have the potential to have 5 10-0 start values. That's what Coach Tabitha told us, and she's really excited about it. So the lineups, you know, as the season progresses, are probably going to change a little bit, but nice to see some new athletes getting experience out there in the lineups.
Score for Naomi Morrison on bars was a 9.8, and that brings us to JC Bohr.
Now this is a new release move for her this season to Kachev. She's supposed to do that right into a build. A handstand, unfortunately, comes off the bar.
And this is going to put pressure now in the back half of this lineup.
And that was something that Coach Plocky talked to us about, you know, kind of working in the gym with a mindset that prepares you for pressure and thinking of every routine as this routine counts. I'm following someone that fell, you know, I'm going to make this count. So we'll be interesting to see how the back half of the lineup is going to respond to this, but JC looking to finish strong here with the dismount.
And a really good body position on that double layout. I feel like that's much improved from last season.
Yeah,
I know that she's been working hard in the gym. Somebody that was usually depth for Michigan in the past, but there's some room in the lineups this year, and JC's one of those athletes that's being called to step in. So I think they'll be looking to finish strong here on bars.
All right, so we got Brenna Nault now. This is going to be the first 10-0 start value we see today from Stanford. Yurchenko full on pike off, a little bit of a different vault. Nicely done. It's hard with a vault like that because of that entry, the full twist onto the table. It's hard to get a lot of height off the table, but
that was pretty nicely done.
She did a pretty good job with it, just about a 10th hop there on the landing.
And it's following the 9.8 from Amanda Zhang. So far the scores for Stanford on vault is trending in the right direction. They're slowly building.
And like we mentioned on the uneven bars for Stanford, only 5 up, so all of these scores are going to count. But so far looking pretty good with a 9.725 and a 9.8. And we've got Gabby Wilson up next.
a good opportunity here for Michigan to respond to a pressure situation.
And someone like Gabby, obviously being a 5th year, I think she's equipped to handle the pressure. She has been so solid in her career at Michigan. A little bit close to the bar on that release move.
Oh, and she fought for that handstand.
Yeah, almost tipped over, but kept it moving in the right direction. Just the dismount.
And I feel like on that handstand there, because she almost went over on that last handstand, she was being a little tentative.
And a near stick on the double layout. I think that back foot moved a tiny bit.
But she stayed on the bar, and that's, that's what they're looking for. So
how do you respond to pressure? I think she did it pretty well. Another look there at the dismount. Definitely a little bit of a step there. Okay, so we got Chloe Widner on vault. And a really clean Yurchenko full.
Yeah, that's really nicely done. A lot of amplitude, a great body position.
Yeah, I love the height that she got on that.
I imagine that'll score really well.
That's following the 9.725 from Brennan-Alt. And that brings up Halen Zabrowski from Michigan, the freshman.
She made her competitive debut last week and didn't quite have the routine that she was hoping for, so again with the pressure, this is going to be a great experience for Halen.
And I'd imagine she wants a little bit of redemption after last weekend.
Oh, totally. So Gabby Wilson got a 9.8, so the scores over there are not looking super high, but they're getting through, and that brings up the freshman.
Jaeger, again, a little bit close. And with this camera angle, you can really see the bent arms when they catch. That's how you know that they're too close.
And this is the angle that the judges are also looking at. So you can see them there sitting at that table. They are pretty much seeing every deduction that we're seeing.
It's the perfect angle to see like the handstand positions, steps on the dismount.
But that was a good routine. That's the best routine that I've seen Halen do between inner squads and then last week, of course, too. Definitely
getting better, and that's exactly what you want to see with the freshmen. All right, so we got Terrelyn Nguyen in what will be the anchor position.
She's following the 9.85 from Chloe.
And this is going to be a new ball for her. She, in the past, has done a Yurchenko double twist. This is going to be a 1.5. And a little bit too much juice on that.
Yeah, that'll be several tenths. I imagine the judges will probably take around 3 tenths for that. They can take up to 4 tenths.
Get another look at it here. I mean, it's a new vault, so it's going to take her probably a little bit to get used to competing that. And it's good that she had too much power. I'd rather see too much power than not enough.
And I was just about to say, I mean, that is what Tabitha was looking for in this meet. She wanted them to be aggressive, and I would say that hop 4 was a result of her being aggressive and really going for it. So on a vault like that, it's a blind landing, and if you're not aggressive, you can sit it down and under-rotate it.
Definitely not expecting to be perfect in this very first meet of the season. All right, so we got Carly Baumann now up on the uneven bars. And this is such a beautiful routine. Carly's got such nice lines.
And they're going to need a big score here. Halen before her had a 9.8, so they're
right now all counting scores is 9.8, which is not bad. It's better than counting a fall, but looking for 9.9 plus here with Carly, and I think she can do it. Oh yeah, gets the stuck landing.
And she does that quite frequently. I'm really curious what her hit rate, or her stick rate, I should say, is on that, because I think there's very few times that I have not seen her stick that, to be completely honest with you.
Very consistent.
That was a great routine for Carly. I think there was one handstand that was a little bit over, but she fought to keep it on top of the bar, and that'll be a big score. I imagine that'll be, so far, the highest score that we've seen.
Maybe our first 9.9 for Michigan in the bar lineup. We'll have to wait and see.
And the score for Terrelyn Nguyen on vault for Stanford was a 9.675, so the judges did really get her on that landing, but you know, first meet of the season, throwing a big upgraded vault. It's going to bode well for Stanford in the postseason. And now we're going to stay on bars with Sierra Brooks. Going up after Carly Bauman's 9.925. So
the perfect person to put a bow on this rotation is going to be Sierra Brooks. She's phenomenal on this event. Nice piked Jaeger.
I would say the perfect amount of distance from the bar, too. Not too far, not too close. She's right on. Build a handstand right on top of the bar. Nicely done.
And then this dismount. I don't want to jinx her.
Yeah,
but
don't. Don't say it.
We'll see what happens. I was going to say she does that dismount, honestly, just like that. Either gets a stick or has a very, very small hop every time she does it. She, kind of like Carly, is very, very consistent with that dismount.
That is going to be, I would imagine, another 9.9 plus routine for Michigan. So what a way for them to finish. And responding to that pressure. They were put in a situation right from the start pretty much with JC Vore, the second person up, and the way they responded the rest of the way through, that's exactly what you want if you're going to be trying to build your confidence.
Absolutely.
Because throughout the season, that's going to happen. They're going to be in situations where someone's going to make a mistake. It's going to be a high-pressure meet. You know, the meet's on the line, and you got to be able to respond to it. So Michigan is going to walk away from that, I think, very, very pleased with how that bar rotation turned out.
Yeah, that was something that Bev really emphasized to us when we talked to her this week. She said the focus was heightening the importance of every routine counts, and I think that's exactly what we just saw here in this bar rotation. Competing with the mindset that you practice with, which is every routine counts. And we've got an exhibition performance here from the freshman Ava Jordan. We saw her with a great start on vault, and looking forward to seeing this bar routine because she's someone who we think has a lot of potential, right, Brett?
Yes, this is a routine that I have been very much looking forward to ever since she came to Michigan. I think that she has really nice lines you're seeing there. Great flexibility on that ganger. A little short on that handstand there, but the potential is there for this routine. I see so much potential with Ava, really honestly on every single event, but bars in particular is an event that I think she's going to be a star of the future.
Yeah, and not bad for, you know, first bar routine up in Chrysler. It's only going to get better and better the more experience that she gets, and that's what this exhibition spot is for, to get that experience.
And I think if she can, you know, get a little more consistency with that landing, that's a routine that you're going to see fighting for a spot in that bar lineup,
Absolutely.
even as early as this season. So be on the lookout for that as well.
So the score for Sierra Brooks was a 9.9, so great way to cap off that rotation after a series of 9.8s to start off the lineup.
Yeah, so that brings the total for Michigan on bars 49.225, and then for Stanford on vault a 48.775. Again, with that 5-up-5 count, you know, ideally they're going to want to have somebody in that sixth spot so you can drop, you know, one of those lower scores, such as, you know, Wynn's vault with a 9.675. Ideally, they would be wanting to drop a score like that, but
hey, first meet.
And what a way to bounce back from the way they started on bars. That is absolutely how you want to rebound on the next event. Put it behind you and move forward.
Yes. So the team totals after rotation 2, Michigan is on top with a 98.7, and then Stanford has a 94.9. So we're going to take a break. Stanford is going to be heading to the floor, and Michigan will be on the beam when we come back. Plus, in addition to live games, your subscription includes exclusive access to Big Ten Network's library of classic games, award-winning original programming, and specially curated digital channels that highlight your favorite Big Ten school 24/7. Explore all Big Ten Plus has to offer on the app or at BigTenPlus.com.
And due to inclement weather, all Big Ten Plus events will be free this weekend. So gymnastics fans, we hope you'll enjoy some free Big Ten gymnastics this weekend. Take advantage of it.
You're in for a treat. Lots of good stuff going on here in the Big Ten. All right, so we're heading into rotation number 3. Again, the score is Michigan at a 98.7 and Stanford with a 94.9. Michigan will be on the beam with Jenna Mulligan as the leadoff. Reina Cagino is going to be in the second position. Gabby Wilson, JC Vore, Carly Bauman, and then Sierra Brooks will be in the anchor position. And then for Stanford, over on floor, we'll have Claire Dean once again in that leadoff position, followed by Amanda Jane, Brenna Naltz, Chloe Widner, Terralyn Wynn, and Sandra Jensen in the anchor position.
Just a few seconds remain here in the warm-up. You can can see Jenna Mulligan there taking a big deep breath.
And I'm excited this rotation to see Stanford's floor routines. They have
Oh, yes.
such beautiful choreography. That was something that Tabitha Yim talked to us about. Hallie Mossett, former UCLA gymnast, does the choreography and really is her area of expertise. So I'm looking forward to seeing the routines this season. This is going to be our first look in 2024. And Jenna in the leadoff spot on beam. This is a position that's relatively new for her. She exhibitioned, I believe, one time last season, but otherwise, this is, you know, her first time being in the beam lineup, and to be the leadoff, it's definitely a pressure situation, but she's been handling it really well.
Yeah, she was technically in the beam lineup last week. She did get a 9-8.
Yes, but this season.
This season,
yes. It's a new position for her this season, is what I was trying to get at. But I really love Jenna on this event. She's really calm and takes her time between each skill.
Yeah, she doesn't seem nervous,
Yeah.
which is surprising given that she's new to this spot and to this event as well. Like, you know, she's not somebody with too much experience, so to go out there and be composed and do big connections like that, she just looks so, like, unfazed.
Yeah, very steady. And that's exactly what you want on beam in your leadoff position. She actually scored in Michigan's exhibition meet before the season began. She scored a 9.925 on this event. So I think that maybe gave her a little bit of confidence in knowing, like, hey, I can go up in the leadoff spot on this event that no one probably ever expected me to do in my career and do it really well.
This is shaken up to be a really great start.
She got a 9.8 last week in Vegas and looking to build on that here. Oh, just a tiny little step on the dismount, but what a great start.
She's 3 for 3, like you said, between that exhibition last week and now this week. Jenna Mulligan has gotten 3 beam routines with no wobbles, really, nothing, no major breaks. So she is proving to be an excellent leadoff for them.
Yeah, Jenna Mulligan came to play. All right, so we've got Claire Dean once again in the leadoff spot for Stanford. You know, it's interesting. You don't often see one gymnast that is the leadoff on every single event, but that's a position that Claire likes to be in.
Like clean double pike to open.
Well, of course, we have to give a shout out to Stanford's new Leos, the Angry Tree.
I love it. I'm here for it.
1.5 to front full. Nicely done.
The Michigan crowd here is clapping along. There's not too many people here today because of the snowstorm, but
honestly more than I expected, and they are loving this routine. It's not always easy to pull in the home crowd, or to pull in the away crowd. It's easy for the home crowd to do
I
it.
would hope that it's easy to pull in the home crowd,
but for her,
it's okay. We know what you mean.
Yeah, not an easy thing to do, but she's got them lured with her routine.
Okay, so Jenna Mulligan in the leadoff spot, got a 9.825, so
new career high.
Career high. We know it's only the second meet of the season, but next up we're going to have Raina Gugino. And she's somebody that is new to this lineup as well. She was not in last week and has kind of been a depth person for them.
Yeah, she's been in before, but
yeah,
just not super
occasionally will
consistently.
come in, but she's not been the most consistent. So this is a chance for her here to prove that she deserves a spot in this lineup. She was set up nicely by Jenna.
Well, and she has beautiful technique. I actually really love Raina on this event. So if she can get the consistency down, I think that she'd be a great addition to this beam lineup. Going for her series, backhand spin layout, step out, so floaty. A little bit of a balance check there on the landing, but such great amplitude on that. Looking for a 180-degree split there. Pretty good job. side semi, rock solid. She's got just the dismount left, so this is going to be a routine that she's very, very happy with, I'd imagine. Dismount to the back handspring, 1.5 twist. Just that step forward on the landing is going to be about a 10th, but really good routine, especially first time back in the lineup in a while. Definitely helps make her case.
Well, and most importantly, it builds that depth. You know, this is a spot, the second position. They're kind of flipping back and forth between a couple different athletes right now. So
this is Amanda Jane.
She's following the 985 from Claire Dean.
And I think we got a little bit of a Pac-Man theme maybe in this routine. Punch front to Rudy, beautifully done. Great control on that landing. You saw that front foot stayed planted and as she took that step back. Shows excellent control. Finishes it up with the double tuck.
You're a little gritty.
Okay. Shy of 180 there on the jumps. But a good routine.
Yeah, like you said, really good control on each of those landings. It's exactly what the judges are looking for.
And she looks very, very happy with it. That's what's most important, right? You gotta be happy with your routine.
That brings up Gabby Wilson on beam for Michigan, following the 9.775 from Reina Gugino. Height on that. I think she did a pretty good job keeping her legs straight on that as well. Sometimes she gets a little bit funky. That was really nice.
And the landing was beautiful.
She was actually a little bit shaky there in between those two jumps. She was able to keep it moving, and
that's important for her to get her 10-0 start value.
Yeah,
you got to have two dance elements or a dance element connected into a front aerial, or
that's a move of a veteran, honestly, to be able to keep it moving like that, not let it phase you. And
is that a stick?
No, I definitely saw a little bit of movement from one of her feet, but that was pretty close to a stick. She'll take it.
Really, really steady routine.
And she's so aggressive on beam. That's one of the things I've always loved about her beam work is she attacks it.
She has a career high of 9.975 on this event, and we'll see what she gets here today. So we got Brenna Nault now on the floor for Stanford.
She's following Amanda Zhang's 9.85, so Stanford is looking great so far on this event.
Really nice double pike to open. Love the legs glued together, really good form on that. Love the performance quality. Coach Tabitha told us that there's no one who loves gymnastics more than Brenna Nault. And I think you can see that here with her performance. Rudy, nicely done. Going in here to the last pass. One and a half, front layout, nicely done.
Dances right out of it.
Maybe a way to disguise any landing deductions, but it's a smart move.
I loved that routine. That was really well choreographed, a lot of fun. And the tumbling was great as well.
Yeah, and very well performed. All right, so Gabby Wilson with a 9.85 on beam, and that brings up JC4. Taking a look here, some of the highlights from Brenna's routine. Here goes JC.
She just mounted the beam.
Now, she last week had a fall on this. There she goes. Fought for the landing, and that's important. You can't be perfect all the time, but it's nice to see the fight on a skill like that, which is just a little bit off. And JC is another athlete who had been in this beam lineup before, but last season not as much, and she's getting back into the group as well, so might come along a little bit slower than some of the others, but she's phenomenal on this event. Check out this here, watch the leg position.
Complete 180. Actually, I would say a little over 180, making sure those judges really see that she's hitting that position.
I've heard it said before that if you're not 180, if you're not over 180, then you're not 180. And I think that's because it's hard for the eye to detect whether or not you're in a perfect line or not with those legs. So It's always nice to see gymnasts like JC going above and beyond. Small step there on the dismount. Good routine.
I liked the fight in that routine.
Yes.
Like you said, she had a fall last week. She's new to this lineup. And last week, this was an event for Michigan that was shaky. Like, they did not have a very good team score. So already we're seeing so much improvement.
Yes. Again, Bev told us the goal, just be better than we were last week. And I think they're doing pretty good at that so far. Okay, so this is Chloe Widner. Mentioned it at the top that she qualified last year to the NCAA championships as an all-arounder. Really has been such a star for Stanford in her career. And brings so much to the team. I mean, obviously she's a phenomenal gymnast, but she's a captain this year and really a great leader for the team. Tabitha said that she's really taken some of the underclassmen under her wing, and it's going to leave a legacy that goes beyond just gymnastics. Last tumbling pass, double pike, lacking a little bit of control there on that landing, but really clean in the air, and little details that no doubt they're going to have cleaned up as the season goes on.
But I like what I'm seeing so far from Stanford on floor. They don't seem to be struggling with any type of endurance issues. Like, they are really showing great control on pretty much all of these landings. And this is an event that Tabitha said they might be, they come along a little bit slower on the power events like vault and floor. But honestly, I feel like we're not really seeing that, especially here on floor. They look great. All right, so we have Carly Bauman now following the 9.675 for JC4. So that's going to be the routine that they're probably hoping to drop. They're going to count the 9.775 for Gugino if Carly and Sierra Brooks can hit these next two routines. Carly is somebody that has the potential to be an all-arounder this season. She had an ankle procedure last year at the end of season.
Great series, yeah, great control.
But she's somebody who's training Yurchenko 1.5 on ball. Right now, she's doing fulls onto a competition surface in the gym and still is working.
She's cooking.
Yeah, she's cooking, exactly. She is building up towards a spot in that vault lineup, hopefully at some point this season.
but has just been so phenomenal for Michigan on bars and beam in particular. Just such a beautiful athlete and so consistent as well. Check this skill out. Side somi with the leg straight. You don't see that very often, but Carly does it so good. This has been a really good routine. Just going to dismount with a pike ganger off the end of the beam. And a stuck landing. That's going to be a huge score.
That just might be one of the best routines I think she's done. Her career high in this event is a 9.925.
One of the most complete routines. I mean, she was solid on all the landings, 180 on the jumps.
Which she
stuck
does not
landing.
always do. Sometimes her jumps is what gets her.
Right.
So curious to see what that score will be. So this is
Carolyn Wynn. Opening pass, double layout. Lots of power on that.
a lot of height, great body position. That was great.
She's someone who last year got a lot of experience competing, but honestly, she said she wasn't satisfied after last season. Wanted to be just a little bit better, especially at the start of the season. So Coach Tabitha said that she's very intentional in the gym, really honed in on all the details, and she's ready to have her moment this year, she said. So keep your eye on her.
And I think somebody that will typically anchor this event, today they have Sandra Jensen in, and she's, they have some athletes that are out, so I think they put her in the anchor position just so that way there's no pressure on her. But I think typically Wynn is someone that they're hoping to have actually in the anchor position.
Absolutely, especially with that big opening E pass.
And a mic drop, as she should.
Love that.
And she's being thrown in the air by her teammates, celebrating that amazing routine.
Another look there, that double layout, yep. Great body position. Look at that. That right there was a 2.5 twist to punch front. Great work.
So now we have Sierra Brooks on beam. She's following the 9.9 for Carly Baumann, so just shy of her career high, but they are rolling here on beam, and just one more routine to go from Sierra. She's usually great on this event.
This is going to be a triple series. Backhand spin, layout, step out, layout, step out. Perfect. Switch leap to beat jump. Very nice. I know Michigan is really happy to have Sierra back. Sierra and Gabby back for the 5th year. We mentioned it at the top, just tremendous athletes. They're great on the competition floor, obviously, but also great off the competition floor, great leaders for this team.
And they bring experience, This is a team that has a lot of new faces in their lineups, and athletes like Sierra and Gabby, they can always count on for routines like that.
Oh my gosh. That was beautiful. The team is pumped, as they should be. Myliana there she wants to throwing up the 10. The team is as well. We'll have to see what the judges want to do with that. But it was pretty good, honestly. I don't know that I saw much of a deduction in that routine. It was really good. And to close things out here on the floor, we have Sandra Jensen. Sandra Jessen, sorry. Punch front, doing a double top. All right, not bad. Chest a little bit low. Cross pass here for Sandra. Double pike. Oh, and looks like she might have stunned her ankle there a little bit.
Yeah, getting some help off the mat. Oh, hopefully she's okay. Yeah, you could tell right when she landed that she crunched those ankles.
Yeah, just maybe lacking a little bit of height and came in just a little bit close there on that landing.
So now, exhibitioning on beam for Michigan is somebody that the fans have really been looking forward to. They've been demanding this routine. They want to see McKaylee Marr, the fifth-year transfer from Penn. She was a star for them on this event in particular, a regional qualifier, and looking to show why she deserves a spot in that lineup, and
really aggressive with that full turn.
And I got to give you guys a quick update. Sierra Brooks, 9.975 on beam, new career high.
I said I didn't see a deduction. One of the judges agreed with me and gave her a perfect time.
That's actually her second 9.975 of the night, so Sierra Brooks is on a roll today.
And McKaylee is too. This has been a really good beam routine. I think she may be making a strong case here for the beam lineup if she can finish strong.
Back leg a little bit low on that, and
a little bit slow on the connection as well. Yep.
But that's why she's in this position. You know, they want her to make those mistakes now, build up that confidence.
A little bit off on the dismount.
And she knows it. You can tell by her face. She's like, okay.
She's like, oops. But, I mean, hey, you said it. The exhibition spot, it's for getting that experience, and that's a routine that, you know, they'd like to get in that lineup.
The potential is absolutely there. So the total for Michigan on beam is a 49.325, a massive improvement from last week's. I don't remember the exact score off the top of my head, but it was a 48 something. So that is quite the way to bounce back. And then Stanford on floor with a 49.3. So that was amazing rotation, highlighted by Wynn's 9.9.
And for Michigan, of course, that 9.975 for Sierra Brooks. So get another look here at McKaylee Marr. Some highlights of her routine. Another look at the dismount.
Yeah, just a little bit short on that, but so much potential.
All right, so we are going to head to break, and Michigan is going to close things out on the floor, and Stanford is going to end things up on the beam. So we'll be back. We are back on Big Ten Plus, and Sierra Brooks is currently leading in the all-around with a 29.85 all-around total. That includes two 9.975s.
Yeah, she might actually be on her all-around record watch, potentially.
And she's going to floor, which is a really good event for her.
Probably her best event, I would say, one of her best events. Her all-around record's a 39.775, so
we'll have to be on the lookout for that.
Yep.
Team totals, Michigan with a 148.025, Stanford with a 144.200. So Michigan is going to end on the floor. The lineup will be Carly Bauman in the leadoff, followed by Jenna Mulligan, Raina Gugino, Naomi Morrison, Sierra Brooks, and then Gabby Wilson in the anchor position. And then for Stanford, over on beam, we'll have Claire Dean as the leadoff, followed by Tara Lynn Wynn, Ashley Carter, Brenna Nultz, Ira Alexeva, and then Chloe Widner to round things out.
And I believe for Stanford on beam, we'll be seeing an exhibition routine as well, their first exhibition routine of the night. So
yeah, it's definitely an event where Stanford has the most depth, and that was something that Tabitha talked to us about as well, is really being proud of the depth that they have, particularly on beam. We're going to hopefully see that here today.
First up, we have Claire Dean. She has a career high of 9.9 on this event, so definitely capable of big score here to start Stanford off. to layout, step out. That's a really difficult combination. She did excellent. Dismount, 1.5, stuck landing. Now that is why she's in the leadoff spot. Really, really great routine.
Yeah, we talked about how Tabitha really praised her, said that the leadoffs don't get enough credit, and you know it's a position that Claire likes to be in, and she understands the importance of it. So we got Carly Bauman now to lead things off for Michigan on the floor.
This is a new event for her this season. I believe she did a couple floor routines her freshman year, but had an Achilles injury sophomore year, and she's finally back in that lineup. The new opening pass, front double full.
And that's about as good as you can do it. I mean, her form is so clean in the air, and just the perfect amount of control on that step forward. And a little bit better on that position there on the jumps. She sometimes is a little bit shy of the position that she needs to be in. Finishes with a 1.5 twist to punch front. Really good routine. This is going to get a pretty big score in the leadoff spot.
She's pretty steady on everything she does. If you haven't noticed that already with Carly, she doesn't really get phased by much. Great routine.
So two really solid leadoff routines for both Stanford and Michigan. Claire Dean had a 9.875 in the leadoff spot, and that brings up Terrell Wynn.
Really difficult. Standing layout, step out, layout, step out. Stanford really going for those not only big, but unique, I would say, series. It's not one that you see often.
But she makes it look so easy. Kind of hard to see from this angle whether or not she hit that 180 position there on that jump. Maybe looked a little bit short.
Round off.
Double twist.
Yep, double twist. A little too much power on that, but that was a great routine.
So 9.925 for Carly Bauman in the leadoff slot for Michigan.
And that's a career high for her.
And that brings up Jenna Mulligan.
I'm really going to be looking to see Jenna control her landings here. Sometimes she has a little bit too much power. So I know that's something they've really been focusing on in the gym. Front through, double back.
There we go. going for the last pass. Double pike. Beautiful. Absolutely great control on that landing. This is a routine that she's going to be really happy with, especially after last weekend wasn't the performance she wanted. Had a big hop out of bounds on the first pass, but much better. Great control.
I like what I'm seeing here from Michigan. I think the mistakes they made last week, you can really tell that they've been focusing on those little things and definitely coming out a lot more aggressive today.
Another look there at the opening tumbling pass. No problems controlling the landing here today. And then her last pass, double pike. That front foot stays planted. Excellent work. So Terrell Wynn had a 9.775, and check out that mount there. Split right onto the beam. Love that.
This is Ashley Carter, and this is actually her debut on this event. Really nice series.
Triple series.
Dipped her chest there. That'll probably be about a 3/10 wobble.
Great position there on the jumps. You know, this has been really good for her debut on this event. 1.5 twist. A little bit off on the landing, but, you know, first routine, not too shabby. All right, we have Reina Gugino next on the floor for Michigan. This is another athlete from Michigan that has honestly so much potential, and I know she's a senior, but Bev talked about how she has so many skills that she could potentially do in this routine. She's so powerful, she's capable of a lot of big stuff.
And usually when she's in this lineup, they have her in the leadoff spot. I think they moved her back. I think that she can maybe score a little bit higher in the mid portion of the lineup. So.
Really having fun with this choreography. I think she was hamming it up over there in the corner for Abbey High School. Michigan great. You'll notice Michigan does all 2 pass routines this year. That's a change from the past as Reina nails her last pass.
I love the smile on her face. She knows that she hit a good one.
And goes to sleep at the very end there.
I mean, that was a pretty exhausting routine, so you do you, girl. We understand.
All right, so we have Brennan Alt up next on beam, following the 9.75 for Ashley Carter. As we take a look real quickly at one of Reina's passes. And what a cool way to get up on the beam. You know, some athletes just get up there in the most simple way possible, and she got a little creative with it. I like that. Going for her acro series. Big handspring layout, step out.
Solid.
Oh, and she's happy with that. I see the look on her face. She's like, oh yeah, I just did that. Great split positions. So confident on this event, and you can see it in her face. You don't really see a lot of gymnasts perform on beam. She has the facials going on. But I think that helps to calm you down. I think there's there's some science to that, I think. When you smile and you kind of get into the routine, you
relax a little bit.
Yeah, you feel the nerves a little bit less, I'd say. And it seems to be working. This has been a really great routine. Dismount with the 1.5 and sticks landing. That is going to be a huge score. Taking another look here at the triple series. Beautifully done. And the dismount. Those highlighted the routine, that stuck landing. Nice job.
Getting into Naomi Morrison's routine here, got to give an update. Jenna Mulligan with a 9.925 on floor. It's a career high for her.
Career high. She's having herself a day. Naomi opens up with a full twisting double back. You know, she's a little bit struggled with that in the preseason. And I think it's mostly just been kind of an endurance thing, and we do see that at the beginning of the season a lot, but no troubles there. Last tumbling pass. Front tuck through to double tuck. And a little bit short. You saw that chest down and the step forward, but I want to say that's the best routine that we've seen her do in the preseason inter squads and then the first meet last weekend in Vegas. Definitely a routine that she's going to be proud of.
That she's making little improvements each week.
Yes. And that's exactly what you want to see.
And Michigan is rolling on floor right now. Reina Gugino, 9.925 matches her career high, so.
They've got all 9.925 so far with Bauman, Mulligan, and Gugino, so. We'll see what they do with
their final two performers.
This is Ira Alexeva. We saw her earlier on bars. She specializes in these two events, bars and beam, and that was a beautiful wolf turn.
She's somebody with that high-level, elite experience. She competed on the world stage for Russia, World Championships.
Ooh, and yeah, she was a little bit off. I saw in that going into that third skill, the foot was a little bit off, but that was a great save.
And that's an upgrade for her. That's something that she's throwing in this year.
Yeah, Tabitha said if the lineup permits, meaning if they have hit routines before her, she was going to go for that. And glad to see that she did it. Even if she was a little bit off, they're okay with having those mistakes. They just, again, we've said it a million times, but they want to be aggressive. They want to go for those new skills, and that, they believe, is really going to help them build the confidence that they need for the postseason.
And it's fun to see her pushing the envelope in her gymnastics for senior year. Continuing to push for bigger and better gymnastics.
Yeah, you would think because she's a senior that she would come in and just be like, I'm good, but
stick with what I know, but she's...
Yeah, Coach Tabitha said she came in over the summer and was like, I want to learn new skills. I want to keep growing in my gymnastics, and I think that's really cool to see. All right,
and
so Sierra Brooks now, and this is a big moment for her. I believe, if my math is correct, she would need a 9.95 to break her all-around record. 9.925 to tie it, so we'll see what she does, but this is a good event for her. She's scored a perfect 10 here in the past.
And every person before her in this lineup has scored a 9.925, so if she hits this routine, I think she just may do it.
Opening pass, full twist and double back. Does that in the open position. Used to grab her legs on that, doesn't anymore.
She doesn't need it.
It makes it that much more impressive, and showed great control on that landing. Pass, pass, front tuck, there's a double tuck, and beautiful, beautiful control on that. What a routine for Sierra Brooks.
Doing Sierra Brooks things. You come to expect it.
And she's happy with it, as she should be. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that score, but I have a feeling it's going to be big. Taking a look here at that first pass. Full twisting double back, excellent. And for Stanford on beam, their final gymnast in the lineup, this is Chloe Widner. She's following the 9.875 from Alexeva. Lovely position on the leaps and jump. And Chloe's having to keep her focus here because we just had a 10 from Sierra Brooks on the floor. So
wow.
We will discuss that in a moment, but Chloe is doing some beautiful work over here on the beam. And
the fact that she did not wobble on that speaks to her level of composure. Of course, I had to jinx her.
But, I mean, she kept it going really nice. She was a teensy tiny bit off on that front aerial, but kept it moving. And that's the mark of a veteran, honestly. She's someone who has been around for a while. She's very experienced, and you can see that when she competes. And she can handle the crowd erupting as she's on beam. She's just that kind of athlete. Going for the dismount. Beautiful routine.
Stanford is looking great on beam. So that brings us to the final performer on floor, and Gabby Wilson.
Mentioned she's now going to be following a 10 from Sierra Brooks. She has a 10 of her own on this event. She has several, so watch out.
Cover yourselves.
She's a performer. No one else can dance like Gabby Wilson. Another huge full twisting double back in the open position.
Amazing control. And then here she lets loose and she has fun. Pass here. Oh, she kept it in bounds, actually. Thought she was going to go out. But what a fun routine. And you know what? It's all right because Michigan is already at a 49-7 on floor.
Score, by the way, for Chloe Widner on beam is a 9.95. So I heard the cheers when Gabby was going on floor. Excellent routine. And this is Portia Trinidad.
Exhibitioning, and it's dead silent in the arena.
Nope, no pressure.
Normally there's some music playing in the background, but she's going to handle it like the pro that she is.
And she's back from an ACL tear that she had last season. Actually, unfortunately comes off there on the series, but had an ACL tear after the first home meet last year, and she has rehab with a vengeance, Tabitha told us. She said
really
that
fighting to make this lineup.
Yeah, she said she's one of the hardest workers that she's ever encountered as a coach, and that her comeback has been very inspiring, not only for the coaches, but for the team. So, keep your eye on this one. She has a lot of potential. Oh, and unfortunately another fall, but No, that's okay. This is the time and the place to do it. Finishes up with back handspring, full twisting gainer off the side of the beam. Great height on that dismount. Lots of potential in this routine. Someone who's definitely going to be, I think, a key player in the lineups in the future for Stanford. And
then one final routine here for Michigan in the exhibitions position. It's going to be J.C. Bohr. She's somebody that's trying to crack into this lineup and provide some depth for Michigan.
And is a great performer, someone that I would love to see in the lineups at some point for Michigan. She's just so much fun to watch on this event. And such a hard worker. You know, she's sometimes the one we've mentioned on the other event. She's kind of the depth option. Stepping in a little bit more this season, but has a lot of star potential, I'd say. And really nice double pike there to open. Having fun with it as she gears up for the last tumbling pass. 1.5 to front full. A little bit off on that, but hips and on her feet.
And a hit routine to help build her confidence on this event. And I love I'm seeing here the Stanford team cheering on the sidelines for JC. Love the sportsmanship.
So Michigan with a 197.725, 2 points.
Almost 2 points, not quite, but almost 2 points above what they scored last week in Vegas. So redemption, I would say. I mean, that was their goal coming in, right?
Right. They wanted to just get better, and I think they did that times 10. And then Stanford with a 193.525.
Didn't start the strongest, but I'm really, really impressed with what we saw on floor. 49.3, and then Beam, 49.325. I mean, they started really slow. They don't have a lot of their athletes that they're hoping to have in the lineups in right now, but what a way to bounce back.
Yeah, started slow but came back roaring in the second half of the competition. And Michigan, they're going to be really, really happy with this one. Great way to start at home and to build on as the season progresses.
Beth Flocky told us she felt like people were underestimating them a little bit, especially after their performance last week, and I think her message to fans was hold on. So I think, as we're seeing here, this Michigan team is capable of great things. This is going to do wonders for them, I think, for their confidence.
All right, so we're going to take one more look at Sierra Brooks on floor. Again, that perfect 10 routine, which puts her at a 39.85 in the all-around, which is actually not only her program record in the all-around, but it beats the all-around program record at Michigan.
Yeah, it was previously a 39.825 held by Natalie Wojcik, who was on the team last year, Beth Weimer, and Sarah Kane. So Sierra Brooks cementing herself as one of the greatest of all time for this Michigan program.
And she needed a big routine, and we knew she could do it. This is such a strong event for Sierra, and no doubt that she was going to go out there and nail it. And she did. She did it the best way possible, getting that perfect 10. So what a way to kick things off at home.
Yeah, but I think both these teams are going to have a lot to be proud of after week 2. Well, week 2 for Michigan, week 1 for Stanford. Couldn't ask for, a better start.
All right, so that wraps things up for tonight. For my broadcast partner, Brittany Bueller, and our entire Big Ten Plus crew, I'm Ashley Bueller saying so long from Chrysler Arena. Once again, the final score for Michigan, 197.725 over Stanford, 193.525. We thank you for watching this Big Ten Network student production by the University of Michigan. Have a great night.